House of Wessex, 871–1066. The House of Wessex rose during a time of chaos, when England was divided into fragile Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, under constant threat from relentless Viking invasions. At its heart stood Alfred the Great, a visionary king who not only defended his realm, but laid the foundation for a united England. Through clever military tactics, the building of fortified towns known as burhs, and reforms in law and education, Alfred pushed back the Viking tide and inspired unity among the Anglo-Saxon peoples, giving them a shared sense of identity and purpose. His successors built on this vision, expanding Wessex's control and centralising power. Kings like Edward the Elder and Aethelstan strengthened England's borders and developed systems of governance and justice that created a stable and organised realm. Aethelstan, often regarded as the first true king of England, unified the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms and even defeated powerful coalitions of Vikings and Celtic kings, proving England's growing strength. This period of stability encouraged trade, culture and learning to flourish, even as external threats persisted. The dynasty's strength was severely tested by the Danish king Canute, who seized the throne and ruled for a generation. Yet the Wessex line ultimately reclaimed its legacy under Edward the Confessor, restoring Anglo-Saxon rule. Their story reached its dramatic climax in 1066, when Harold Godwinson, the last Anglo-Saxon king, fell to William the Conqueror at the Battle of Hastings. Though the dynasty vanished, its greatest achievement endured, the very concept of a united English kingdom. Every royal house that followed ruled a realm first forged by the vision, resilience, and determination of Wessex. House of Normandy, 1066–1135. The House of Normandy began with one of the most defining moments in English history, the Norman Conquest. In 1066, William, Duke of Normandy, crossed the Channel and defeated King Harold Godwinson at Hastings. This victory replaced the Anglo-Saxon elite with Norman lords, cementing William's power and introducing a new ruling class loyal only to him. Under Norman rule, England was transformed. William's centralised authority built mighty stone castles across the land and commissioned the Domesday Book, a record of wealth and land ownership that gave the crown unmatched control. The feudal system took firm root, creating a highly organised realm compared to its Anglo-Saxon past. The Normans also reshaped culture and language, blending French and English traditions into a new national identity. William's descendants expanded influence both in England and France, setting the stage for future conflicts like the 100 Years' War. Though their rule lasted less than 70 years, their impact was immense. The Normans turned conquest into governance, laying the structural and cultural foundations for England's rise as a medieval powerhouse and eventually a global empire. Without their victory, English history would have followed a very different path. House of Plantagenet, 1154–1485. The House of Plantagenet ruled England for over 3 centuries, shaping the medieval kingdom into a political and military powerhouse. Their story began with King Henry II, a brilliant yet ruthless ruler whose territory stretched across England and much of France. Under his reign, England's legal system evolved, laying the foundations of common law that still influence the world today. The Plantagenets produced some of history's most legendary figures. Richard the Lionheart became a symbol of courage during the Crusades, while his brother, King John, faced rebellion that led to the Magna Carta in 1215. This document was revolutionary, limiting royal power and planting the seeds of constitutional government. King Edward III brought England to its medieval peak, claiming the French crown and sparking the 100 Years' War. His armies achieved stunning victories, like the Battle of Crécy, fostering a growing sense of English identity. Yet internal rivalries weakened the dynasty, culminating in the Wars of the Roses, a brutal civil war between the houses of Lancaster and York. The Plantagenet line ended when King Richard III fell at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485. Their legacy endures through Parliament, constitutional law, and the legends of their dramatic rise and fall. House of Tudor, 1485–1603. The House of Tudor rose from the bloodshed of the Wars of the Roses. Henry Tudor defeated Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485, becoming Henry VII. By marrying Elizabeth of York, he united the rival factions of Lancaster and York, bringing stability to a fractured realm. Henry VII restored royal finances and strengthened the monarchy. His son, Henry VIII, transformed England even more dramatically. Seeking a male heir, Henry broke with the Roman Catholic Church and founded the Church of England, granting the crown immense spiritual and political power. The Tudors reached their height under Queen Elizabeth I. Her reign saw the defeat of the Spanish Armada and the dawn of overseas exploration, with figures like Sir Francis Drake expanding England's reach. Culturally, this was a golden age, with Shakespeare and other great writers flourishing. When Elizabeth died childless in 1603, the dynasty ended. Yet the Tudors had reshaped England, turning it into a centralised, powerful state, ready to rise as a global empire. Their rule forged the modern English nation in politics, religion and culture. House of Stuart, 1603–1714. The House of Stuart began with a historic union. When King James VI of Scotland inherited the English throne as James I in 1603, the crowns of England and Scotland were united for the first time. This union brought promise, but also deep divisions over religion, politics, and culture. James believed strongly in the divine right of kings, often clashing with Parliament over power and authority. His son, Charles I, pushed these tensions to breaking point. His refusal to compromise sparked the English Civil War, a brutal conflict between royalists and parliamentarians. In 1649, Charles was captured, tried, and shockingly executed, a moment that stunned all of Europe and temporarily ended monarchy in England. For 11 years, England was ruled as a republic under Oliver Cromwell. In 1660, the monarchy returned with Charles II, beginning the Restoration. Yet divisions persisted. When King James II attempted to restore Catholic dominance, Parliament intervened. In 1688, the Glorious Revolution replaced him with his Protestant daughter Mary and her husband, William of Orange. This revolution permanently limited royal power, ensuring that no monarch could rule unchecked. Though the Stuart line ended in 1714, they reshaped the monarchy, turning it into a constitutional institution that would define modern Britain. House of Hanover, 1714–1901. The House of Hanover came to power when Queen Anne, the last Stuart monarch, died without an heir. Parliament chose her closest Protestant relatives, bringing George I of Hanover to the throne in 1714. At first, these German-speaking kings were distant figures, which allowed Parliament to grow stronger, shifting real political power toward elected ministers. Under the Hanoverians, Britain experienced unprecedented transformation. The Industrial Revolution began, turning the nation into the world's leading economic force. Overseas, the British Empire expanded dramatically, establishing colonies across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Military victories, such as during the 7 Years' War and against Napoleon, cemented Britain's global dominance. The most iconic Hanoverian ruler was Queen Victoria. Her reign from 1837 to 1901 became known as the Victorian era. During this time, Britain ruled nearly 1/4 of the world's population. The era saw rapid technological progress, cultural achievements, and a sense of imperial pride. By the dynasty's end, Britain had emerged as the greatest empire in history. The Hanoverians' reign marked the transition to a modern constitutional monarchy and the peak of Britain's global power. House of Windsor, 1917 today. The House of Windsor was born during World War I. In 1917, amid strong anti-German sentiment, King George V changed the royal family's name from the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha to the distinctly English-sounding Windsor. This was more than a simple rebranding. It symbolised the monarchy's determination to stay connected to its people at a time of global conflict and national uncertainty. The Windsors ruled through a century of dramatic change. After World War II, the British Empire dissolved and former colonies became independent nations, forming the modern Commonwealth of Nations. King George VI and later his daughter, Queen Elizabeth II, oversaw this shift, redefining the monarchy's role from rulers of an empire to symbolic leaders of a global family of nations. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, guided the crown through decades of social, political, and cultural upheaval. She became a figure of stability, embodying continuity as Britain navigated wars, decolonisation, economic crises, and rapid modernisation. The Windsors also embraced mass media, with royal weddings, jubilees, and ceremonies becoming worldwide events that captivated millions. Today, their power is symbolic, yet their influence remains immense. Through diplomacy, tradition, and soft power, they shape Britain's global image and maintain strong connections across the Commonwealth. The Windsors have proven the monarchy's ability to adapt, evolving from imperial rulers into modern cultural icons, while remaining deeply rooted in centuries of tradition. Their survival shows how a royal family can remain relevant in a world that has completely transformed around them.